How I sorted out Osgood Schlatter's disease in the knee on a 13-year-old footballer. I had this young footballer who was coming into me with knee pain there, and he had been told that he had Osgood Schlatter's disease. First thing I want to mention on this is that I do not agree with the diagnosis of telling a young kid who's, in this case, 13. Generally this condition happens in kids in their teenage years, but to tell a youngster that they've got disease on their knee is just the wrong way to be starting, or mentally the wrong way of introducing an injury to a youngster, especially if it's their first injury. Also, basically, number one, because it's not a disease, and it's not much of a disease when I can get it away within 4 sessions. Don't agree with that. In general, my input on this injury is basically that there's a patellar tendon that runs under the front of the kneecap, and it runs down to the top of the tibia bone. So basically that tendon, we have to figure out why that tendon is tightening and pulling on the bone, and then pulling on the bone that much that it starts to inflame the bone. That is my take on that. So we know then, so there is 7 muscles in my experience that you have to try and sort out when trying to correct this condition. It's the exact same way that you sort out patellar tendonitis. So the 7 muscles are the VMO, which is medial quad, the lateral quad, the rec fem, the medial rec fem, that all attach right under the patellar tendon, fascially attached to the patellar tendon. And then the other, so that's the first 4 muscles. The other 3 muscles is the medial hamstring, the lateral hamstring, and the glute. If you have all those muscles testing good and holding a test and also co-contracting well together, then you will get rid of this condition. The only small issue with this condition that I find in my clinic, I can only really go off what happens in my clinic, is that sometimes when the kids are that young that I'm not able to test them as well as I would like to test them. So I can't test them as hard, or it's hard to get a reading on their body because their bodies aren't contracting to the muscles well enough. So I will only need 5 minutes in one session to figure out if I can test a youngster or not. So as soon as the young fella landed on my bed, then I put him on the bed and tested him, and I could tell already that I could test him hard enough to get a good reading on his body. So out of them 7 muscles, then I'll just test them up. Obviously there's more muscles that attach to the knee, but I'll just start at these 7 when it comes to this condition. So I tested up the muscles. I wrote on my board which muscles weren't firing well, and then I get to work in a certain amount. It's very important to say this: if you have a muscle that is weak, your body will be compensating somewhere else in that person's body. They will be compensating somewhere else, and you need to find both of them. So for example, if this young client had a weakness in his medial hamstring, right? So when I tested it, it tested weak. His body then will compensate somewhere else. A lot of the time it's in the muscle that does the opposite action. So if a medial hamstring extends the hip and flexes the knee, I tested then the muscle that will flex the hip or extend the knee. So then, sure as bear, I found the medial rec fem on the other side, which is a hip flexor and a knee extensor, double whammy, compensating for the medial hamstring. So we release down the medial rec fem and then do some work then to get the hamstring firing better. So fast forward 4 appointments and fast forward correcting 6 or 7 weaknesses. Not all weaknesses in terms of the muscles being completely weak, muscles not firing or co-contracting together, because you can find deeper weaknesses within the nervous system. Then when you co-contract the muscles together, we'll call it the NKT word, relationship compensation, or I renamed it in my work as what I call phase 2. So a muscle may test good in phase 1 where it can test strong, but then you contract another muscle first and then retest it. And that's testing how those muscles are co-contracting together. Then you'll generally find all their weakness after that. So this young fella was so brilliant in terms of doing his rehab. So going home, getting the rehab done, bringing it back in, testing stronger. In the first 3 appointments, he wasn't seeing any improvement. He was still playing football. I like him to still play football, even though it's sore, still playing football, and I'm still flaring up. Then on the 4th appointment, I corrected 2 more issues, 2 more imbalances, and then he done 2 weeks rehab, came back on, and now it's pain free. So this is the exact reason why I have a problem with a doctor, or not even a doctor, because this isn't really a doctor appointment. It's kind of like an industry appointment, or an industry problem, healthcare problem, the way we would call something a disease. I don't understand how we can call something a disease when you can literally get it away. This young fella was coming in every 2 weeks. If he had to come in once a week, if my clinic wasn't as busy as it is and I could have got him in once a week, probably would have had the problem away after 4 weeks. So it's totally wrong to call it a disease. If you want my input on it, it's just a tendon. As it attaches onto the tibia, it is tugging too much. You have to find the root cause of why that tendon is tugging on the tibia bone. And in my clinic, and what I can see, and for the many times I've sorted this out now, it's getting the 7 muscles contracting better. VMO, lateral quad, rec fem, medial rec fem, medial ham, lateral hamstring, and glute. You get those muscles working away, you get those muscles working better, then this problem completely goes away. For this young fella now, when I told him and his parent when he was on here, next thing that this young fella needs to do now that his body has shown us that by correcting the function in these muscles, that the pain will go away. It's about keeping them working better now. So I give him a plan. It's just up to him now for him to complete that plan and keep it on there every day.